Greetings, fellow book enthusiasts. Welcome back to Timeless Tales and Thoughts. I missed last week. I've had a change in my schedule as I finally got a full-time job. Yay! So I'm working around trying to figure out when my best time to come on and make my videos is going to be, with a lot of things going on the weekends too, the traditional use your weekends for cleaning and running errands and grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to be moving on into my new chapter, my new job. But I'm also still very excited to keep sharing books with you. So please bear with me as I figure it out and get things back on a different schedule. So with that, I am going to share with you today. I finished book 6 for my 2026 book challenge. If you haven't been following along, I set a goal for myself at the beginning of the year to read 12 books in 12 months. And I am on book number 6. I just finished book number 6. Probably helps that I didn't have a job for 5 months and I could just do a lot of reading. But I'm really excited that I am like halfway through my challenge. I'm in the middle of book 7 now. Just recently started book 7 last week. And I am super excited to go through this book with you. So, all right, so book number 6 for me was one of the books I picked up during the book crawl last month in April. And it was this one here, Sun-Kissed by Katherine Anderson. It was a fun story, some romance, some mystery, a little bit of everything in the story, a little bit of action, not a lot of action, but a little bit of like action adventure. Romance, obviously, it is a romance novel, and a little bit of mystery involved in it as well. So real quick, I'll read the back for you. New York Times bestselling author Katherine Anderson, known for blending sweetness and sensuality in a poignantly written story, delivers a contemporary romance set in the world of the Coulter and Harrigan families. So I don't read a lot of her stories, and from what I've gathered, because there is a family tree in the beginning of this book, that she's written like series of stories that are for like these different families, the Coulter family, the Harrigan family, and they're separate. So now these two families are coming together in this story. When Samantha Harrigan attends a local rodeo, she doesn't expect to wind up in jail, but that's precisely what happens when she tries to stop a drunkard from abusing his horse. At least she isn't alone. Tucker Coulter, a handsome local veterinarian, comes to her defense and is arrested too. The charges are dropped, but Samantha's troubles have only started. Her champion quarter horses are falling ill, and the culprit is poison. As the insurance beneficiary, Samantha is the prime suspect. Unswayed by the rumors floating around town, Tucker offers to help prove her innocence. Samantha, though, is uneasy about accepting his assistance and about the way he makes her feel. If only she could believe in him and the way he seems to believe in her. Sweet romance story. A little bit spicy. I usually generally don't like my romance novels spicy, but there's a little spice. Not too bad. It wasn't graphically spicy, but I'd probably read another one of her stories, considering it wasn't graphically so spicy that it was like gross. Get a room kind of spicy. Just the way she described it and the way that she set the stage, set the scene. You knew what was going on, but it wasn't too bad. And all right, so book of the story, I would definitely probably read another one of her stories. looking for romance novels. And this one starts out, like it said in the back, it starts out at a local rodeo. Samantha's, walking along, minding her own business, and she sees this guy mistreating his horse. He's obviously drunk. She tries to get involved and do the right thing, calling the police to report animal abuse, animal cruelty. But one thing leads to another, and the drunk guy just gets real rough with her. Enter Tucker, and he comes, rescues, kind of saves the day, but they both kind of rescue each other, because then he gets into some trouble and she comes to his rescue. During this whole thing, all three of them end up in jail. Quickly, the charges are dropped against Tucker and Samantha, so their stories can continue on. So yes, then the mystery comes in because Samantha owns a ranch that is actually the small piece of the umbrella of her father's business, her father's ranch business, and herself and her brothers all have pieces of property on their father's land, to enough to have their own farms and ranches. So she's raising her horses and she's training her horses, and her best horses start to get sick. She brings in the vet. The vet that she trusts is out of town on vacation, and he sends in his protege, the one who's supposed to take over when he retires, and she's unimpressed with him and the way he treated her horses. So when it happens again, when something, she calls Tucker because he's a vet. How much worse could it possibly be? She knew she didn't want to call this other guy, so here she goes. She's going to try this out. Turns out it is poison, as it states on the back. Her horses are being poisoned. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows how or anything like that. So that's kind of the mystery of the story, is trying to figure out who was poisoning the horses, how they got the poison to the horses, and of course, trying to clear Samantha's name, because if something happens to these horses, she is going to collect the insurance on them, and that makes her prime suspect, and nobody is looking into anybody else, because all the evidence points straight to her. She's the only one that has access to the horses, and she's the only one that could possibly be doing this. So the mystery in this story is to figure out who's poisoning the horses and getting that solved, which they do. They do solve that part of the story, and I'm not going to say, because I want you to be intrigued enough to go read the story. Who poisoned the horses? And of course, through all of that, because Tucker and Samantha are spending an enormous amount of time together caring for her sick horses, their relationship starts to develop in a sweet way. And it's like she's experiencing something she's never really truly felt before, someone who wants to help her, someone who wants to be with her, versus the type of relationship she had in the past. And it's a new experience for her, which is really nice, because that's how their romance just starts to blossom in a nice way. And like I said, it does get a little spicy towards the end, and there really is only one descriptive part where it's like, oh, here's the true romance of the of the story. And but as I said before, it's really not that. It's not super spicy. It's low spicy. In my opinion, I would call it low spicy. And it was just a great overall read, and I really enjoyed reading this story. And I hope maybe you would like to, if you're looking for something different to read, or if you enjoy Catherine Anderson's stories already, but you've never had the opportunity to read this one, I highly recommend it. It's it was a great read. I truly enjoyed it, and I hope maybe you will be inspired to go pick it up and read it too. So thank you for watching. If you are enjoying these videos, please like, subscribe,